Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I tell you, my name is Mel. I'm an Uruguayan neuroscientist. I'm doing a PhD in Germany, but on the side I have this channel where I bring scientific topics closer to society. I interview people with cool stuff to tell, and I also produce content in Spanish for Latinx communities, since I'm from Uruguay. And today's guest is a biomedical researcher that she's from Russia, but currently she's working in the Netherlands doing her PhD in biomedical research, and she works in children's cancer. In particular, she works in leukemia, and she's gonna tell us a bit about her work, what kind of stuff she does, and what's the value on it. So, welcome Polina, it's a pleasure to be talking to you today. Welcome to the channel, and can you start telling a bit about yourself? Where do you come from?
Hi Mel, thank you so much for inviting me to record this video. As you already mentioned, my name is indeed Polina, and I'm doing my PhD and working as a researcher in a children's cancer hospital in the Netherlands. But originally I come from Russia. I grew up in a small Russian city. For those interested, it's called Novomoskovsk. So I went to school there, and at some point during my high school, I think, I decided that I wanted to be a scientist. And then I thought even better, and I decided that of all sciences, I liked biology the most. That made me get to the Department of Biology of the Moscow State University, and that's part of the path that led me here.
That's very interesting. And within that, what did you choose to pursue?
I really like the area of biomedical research. That's where biology meets medicine, because that's the area where we can see how science really can help people. For instance, take the HIV virus. We didn't used to be able to cure it. People used to die from it. And nowadays, people with HIV can have a really normal life. Or, well, let's say, for instance, take the coronavirus. Thanks to the efforts of the scientists, we now have several vaccines that are now being tested. So hopefully within just a few months, we will have a working vaccine.
Oh wow, can you tell us a bit of what's happening there?
So, of all biomedicine, I now specialize in leukemia, which is the same as blood cancer. And as you might already know, cancer is when a cell goes crazy, when something gets broken in a cell and the cell starts to divide uncontrollably. So, leukemia is when some blood cell or some progenitor of a blood cell goes crazy and starts dividing uncontrollably. So all blood cells, be they red blood cells or white blood cells, they start their development in the bone marrow. So this is consequently the place where leukemia emerges from some blood cells progenitor. The leukemic cells, when they emerge in the bone marrow, they do not emerge there in a vacuum. They are surrounded by other bone marrow cells, and those cells, they communicate with each other. And those communications can be very complex, and they can influence the course of the disease. For instance, we now know that some leukemias can be caused not by mutation, not by some breakage in a cell that will then become leukemic, but in those cells in the bone marrow, which communicate with the future leukemic cells and make them go crazy. In my opinion, this is just fascinating. So my PhD is dedicated to studying those interactions, although they have already been studied quite a lot. The problem here is that leukemia is very heterogeneous, meaning that that leukemia can be very different, and different leukemic cells might have different communication with other bone marrow cells. So there is definitely a lot of things that left to study in this field.
Yeah, I can imagine this is very tough. And it's really cool that you are working on such a valuable topic. It's kind of obvious to ask this, but because we have a very heterogeneous audience, you know, there's people that maybe they are scientists, maybe there's people that they are not scientists at all, and sometimes it's a bit complicated to, you know, to visualize, to imagine certain things. But could you tell us with more explicit words, what is the value, in your opinion, that there are scientists like you doing this kind of research in these topics?
Well, because it's bloody awesome, and because knowing the leukemia better can help us cure the leukemia better. For instance, can you believe it that in the 1950s, nearly every child that got leukemia died, and nowadays over 90% of children with leukemia survive within 5 years from the diagnosis. In my opinion, this is just unbelievable progress that is possible because of research in this area.
Yes, it's a fascinating career and it has done so much good. I also want to use this opportunity to ask you, because maybe there's people watching us that they are from Russia, they are young students, maybe people that are in your hometown, or they are in the shoes that you were once, you know, and trying to decide if to pursue a career in science. It can be this topic, can be in another topic. Is there some message, tip, comment, something that you would like them to hear, you would like to transmit to them right now?
A tip that I would like to give to my fellow young students, especially from my home city or from other cities and towns in Russia, like my home one, please guys, dare to dream. The fact that you were born where you were born does not mean that you must stay here for the rest of your life. If you are persistent enough, you can prepare well for the Unified State exam. You can make it to the best universities of your country. You can become whatever you want. You have everything you need for that. You have your mind, you have your head, and you have your persistence. Please, guys, do it.
Yes, I agree. That's really good advice. And do you know what you want to do next? Or if you want to work on this the rest of your life, what's next for you? Do you have any idea? Maybe not yet.
Directions that I want to take in the future. Well, to be honest, I don't know what I want to become when I grow up. So far, fundamental science is fun. But maybe, who knows, maybe after PhD I'll try something else.
Yeah, sure, there's time to figure that out. It's cool to explore and let life take you.
So, thank you very much again, Mel, for inviting me. It was a pleasure to tell my story.
Yeah, it was my pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much again. It was very nice, and I wish you all the best luck with your PhD. And thank you also for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this video, you learned something new. If you would like to support the project, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to give thumbs up to the video if you like it. You can leave a supporting comment, you can suggest topics for next videos that you would like to see. And yeah, that's it for today. I hope you have a nice day and see you in the next video. Bye bye!